Hi, my name is Robert Cray, and you're watching Toasted.
Welcome to Amsterdam, Mr. Robert Cray.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Paul.
You're just here for press today, right? I mean, you played the North Sea Jazz Festival, of course, a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago already.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, we played on the stage with George Benson, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of good critiques on in the press I read. Uh, uh, of course, you have a new album out. I love it, Nothing But Love. Um, why a new album?
Why a new album? We normally put out a new album every couple of years or so, but this is a first record on our new label, and it's fantastic Dutch-based label, mascot label, so it's cool.
I ask you this because, I mean, of course, the music industry has evolved. Uh, a lot of bands find it hard to sell records. What do you think? Do you expect this record to do well, or is it for you important to play live more than recording records?
Well, we've done both for the longest time. I'm, the kind of person who likes to put out records, and we put out records. We put out, records in a form and fashion that, we want to have listened to as a whole. And also, as a touring band, you want to have something new out every so often so that you can. We do have fans, and they want to hear new material, and the band loves to play new material, even more so.
But you saw the whole music industry develop. Did it worry you as an artist?
With the new.
Well, internet coming up, people just copying music off of the net.
Well, yeah, it does. It does worry me. I think that right now we're starting to get more of a handle on what's going on with the internet, especially for people who are trying to download for free. I think people are coming to the realization that it's what's fair is fair. There will always be those who think that music should be free, but there's got to be some kind of uh, you know we got to come together at some point and work things out. But you know, also the musicians and the groups and solo artists can use the internet to their advantage. People who are not signed to record deals, like a band like ours, are able to record in their own bedrooms with their computers and put their music on the web. And they're finding out that hey, maybe we can work something out together because it is important.
How did you record this album actually?
We recorded this record digitally.
But
Yeah.
not in your bedroom, I guess, right?
No, not in my bedroom. My bedroom wouldn't be big enough to handle all the gear.
Because it's a big record. I mean, there's a lot of. I love it. The production is done by Kevin Shirley. He did Slayer, amongst others.
He had a reputation that preceded him. I wasn't aware of Kevin Shirley, to be honest, when he was first mentioned. And on the Pro Vogue label, he's done a lot of at least a few artists that I know of. And so I was asked if I would take a meeting with Kevin, and I said yeah, I would. And so after the meeting, and we got along really well because we talked about how we would go about recording this band, and I was given some music to listen to by Joe Bonamassa and Beth Hart, and then Kevin himself gave me a CD of some music that he had done with the artist John Hyatt, and I listened to all the music and tried to insert our band sound into that thought process of how he would go about doing our band, and came to the conclusion that it'd be pretty cool.
Must be pretty tough for a producer to work with you. I mean, you're a big name. You work with the biggest artists in the world. You have your own ideas on sound and production, I guess.
I'm not hard to get along with.
But to work with, probably.
No, no, no. The thing that is good about Kevin is Kevin's dealt with all kinds of people and personalities. I'm an easy one. I'm sure. I'm sure he'd probably tell you that. Um, I think that it was a wonderful opportunity for us. I don't think that Kevin had a hard time with us at all. And I'm not just speaking about myself, but there's two other guys in this organization that I work with that are also producers, and I've produced our band myself. So the thing was for us was we had to all throw our hats into the ring and have somebody else do the production, which was great for a change. Because last time I did the record, I had two other producers over my shoulder.
So you actually, I mean, what does a guy like? I don't want to play him down because he's a famous producer. He with the biggest names, Led Zeppelin. I mentioned Slayer, but what can he bring to the table that three producers in a band can't?
Well, we'd get in our own way, you know, and I think that when you have an outside producer who's got a great mind like he does and thinks very fast on his feet, you know, it took all of us by surprise some of the ideas that he came up with that were like things that we wouldn't have come up with. So, well, I mean, just different arrangements, a different way to approach a song, as such as the tempos. He came to the table with the right tempos for the songs that we brought in, and like, you know, if we had the tendency to overplay something, calm us down, or if he needed us to be, you know, more forceful in certain places, that's what he did. Everybody, you know, would always think that whatever they touched was perfect, including myself, including the other guys in the band. But it's nice to have an outside voice.
Your lyrics are, of course, famous. What I like about it is that you can write in a way that you describe a situation that evolves. Listening to this album, two songs stuck in my head. I'm Done Crying and Great Big Old House, which are, as far as I'm concerned, really special songs.
Oh, thank you very much. Those songs are both, you know, very topical right now. I'm Done Crying is a song about a man who's been begging for mercy. I'm quoting the lyrics. I begged for mercy. I called out in pain, but no one seemed to hear me. It's like I don't have a name, but I'm done crying. I've got no more tears. You can't hurt me anymore, but at least now I know where I stand. But you won't take away my dignity because I'm still a man.
So when I listened to that, the first impression I had was this is a love song, but it's not.
No, it's a song about a man losing his job to a company that, you know, sent the job to another country. And then the next verse after that is when he lost his house because he lost his job and he's out in the street.
And of course, this is actually happening as we speak.
It's happening as we speak, you know. And then also then the song Great Big Old House is a song about the inactivity after houses have been foreclosed on, which is, you know, has to do with the banks and the mortgages that were sold to people, and then the, you know, the housing market falling out, or the mortgage crisis happening with all the bundling of the mortgages and sold as derivatives, and the derivatives, you know, weren't worth anything and all that. And on my street, the street that I live, there's two houses that have been foreclosed on, and one of the people in those houses we know personally. And there's no more activity at that house. Just the lockbox on the front door, you know, is all that remains.
Why did you put those songs straight one after the other? 'Cause I mean, it's logical. On the other hand, it makes it kind of a heavy ending to the record.
Well, yeah, it kind of makes it a heavy ending to the record, but the record is meant to be, you know, it's a serious record. You know, there's serious subjects, and that's just a blues record.
One of the critiques I read, older ones, about you as an artist is, yeah, Robert Cray is the yuppies blues man because it's so easy listenable. And what did he actually experience himself? He had an easy youth and I don't know what. So for a blues man, he didn't really experience the hardship. So what does he write about?
I write about current events. I write about things that pertain to me. I never written about you know, the same kind of lifestyle as those who preceded me by a couple of generations or so. You know, I played some of those songs as cover songs because I enjoyed the genre. You know, playing songs by.
Do you think that critique is justified?
And then that critique like that is, it's just, it's a critique for no reason at all. I mean, it's like, of course, I didn't grow up like those guys. Who could have? I'm not John Lee Hooker, and I'm not Muddy Waters, and how could I be? And I didn't ever, pretend to be. I enjoy the idiom, and of course, like any other kid playing guitar, I enjoyed all the guitar players. I enjoyed the songs, but I play music that is music that I enjoy. I enjoy the blues. I enjoyed the Stax music. I enjoyed Jimi Hendrix, who I've seen a couple of times.
Oh, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, because I grew up in the Pacific Northwest as well, so I saw Hendrix, and
Where did you see him play, actually?
I saw him play at the Seattle Center Coliseum the first time I saw him. Our bass player Richard saw him 4 times.
No way.
Seriously. And then I saw him at the 6 Seattle Rainiers baseball field. That time he had Billy Cox playing bass and Mitch Mitchell playing drums.
Wow.
Yeah. So I saw him.
That was before you were an artist yourself?
I was playing guitar. I wasn't,
Music?
No, I wasn't recording music.
Could you, I mean, being there as a kid, probably looking at him, could you even imagine that you would have your own Fender Stratocaster signature model?
No, but like, kids playing guitar in our bedrooms with the other friends. I mean, we had these fantasies like all kids do.
Yeah, but yours came true. I mean,
yeah, a little bit different. A little bit different, but we did. We had, like all kids do, you fantasize about things. Whether you want to be a football player or a baseball player or football, anything. I mean, that's what we did. And when we were listening to our favorites like Albert King and Albert Collins and stuff, at that particular time we wanted to be blues men, when we were 16, 17 years old. And but the thing was, it's like never quit playing. Just went from one band to the next. And
I was reading there are several biographies of you online, and one of them was he started playing music with a band in '74, and it went really well, and he recorded his first album in 1980, and then it just took off. And then I delved into the facts, and I was like, what? You started playing in '74? So it took you 6 years to get your first record, and then another 6 years before you broke through. So it was probably, even before you were in the band, you were playing guitar, so it must have been like 18 years of working your ass off, to put it bluntly.
oh yeah, but you don't think of it. You don't think of it in terms like that. We started the band in '74 because we loved playing, the music that we did. We didn't think about making a record. We couldn't even dream of making a record playing songs by Omar James and James Brown, playing covers. That was the furthest thing from our mind. Our main concern is we wanted to get some gigs playing in clubs so that we could eat. And that's what it was all about when Richard and I left Tacoma to start a band in Eugene, Oregon. And we ran into our good friend Curtis Salgado, who lived in Eugene, Oregon. And we were all the same age. He loved playing blues music with his band, the Nighthawks. And so we became friends. And we had more like friends the same age. And it was like, we hung out and we helped one another and all that kind of thing. And then, one day when we were playing, and we happened to be at the San Francisco Blues Festival backing Albert Collins. And the next day we were playing, we got some really good press in the San Francisco Chronicle for that show, which was our first major press. The next day we played at a small club in San Francisco, and 2 guys came to see us who were to be our future producers, and Bruce Bromberg and Dennis Walker. And then we recorded for them in 1978 for the album Who's Been Talking, which didn't come out until 2 years later. So,
That's a huge process, and in the meantime, you have to survive. You have to live somewhere. You have to make money. You have to.
But we were living the kind of lifestyle that was just what we were. We were kids. We were in our early 20s, and we didn't dream of that we were going to have a major record label and stuff. We were just playing gigs, and we were getting more and more gigs because we did get some good press from the San Francisco Chronicle, and that's just little building blocks.
But that's not the way musicians nowadays are being produced or brought or whatever. It's like I have the impression that a record company looks for a certain act. They get a group together, start playing. We have a concept, we have a band, we have a record out. Start playing, we make some money.
That we've seen a lot of people, and we know a lot of people who've gone about it that way. But we went about it a different way. We went about it playing in clubs and having fun. And then somebody noticed that we were having fun and decided to sign us. So,
Is that lacking actually in the music industry in the States now, you think?
well, I think it's part and parcel of. Well, you see it a lot. I mean, everything is like so immediate. It's like buying music. You just push a button, you know, and a lot of times you get it for free. But there's nothing. There's nothing better than just going out there and playing music and having fun. I think that's what it's all about. And I think that a lot of people will be disappointed if they're not out there having fun, if you think that success comes immediately, because it doesn't happen for a lot of people.